So we finally got our first look at Clayface from DC, which is looking pretty good. It's kind of interesting because this movie was a surprise to DC themselves, actually, because James Gunn has come out and said, from the time this film was announced, that he actually didn't plan for this film to be a part of his universe. Yeah, his whole grand plan of what he wants to do with the DCU. He just said that the script was so good, like the pitch for this was so good that he couldn't pass it up. It was that good. And that kind of makes it interesting because the fact that this film was not part of James Gunn's whole greater plan for the DCU, it kind of makes me wonder what exactly the continuity of this film is because there's a few ongoing canons in the DC right now. Like you got the Robert Pattinson Batman, you got the Superman universe. I believe there's like an animated universe. There's like at least four or five ongoing universes right now, or like ongoing canons that are going on that sometime overlap, like Peacemaker and Superman, vice versa. So I don't know where this kind of falls in that, but I really think it depends on how this film was received. I feel like this film, more than probably most DC films, is going to be a heavily the deciding factor of how much impact this film and the character has. I think it's going to really come down to how much people either like or hate this character in this film. If this film comes out and it bombs, it's a fucking Joker 2 abysmal fucking disaster. We probably will never hear about Clayface or anything about this film again, and it will probably just cut out like a tumor and never be spoken of again. If it's good and people love it, we probably will be seeing Clayface 2 and 3, which I'm apprehensive of considering, the history of DC with sequels to highly acclaimed DC films they've made. A little bit of hit or miss record there. But it is kind of interesting how this is a film that DC really is more kind of looking at the box because I mean every film they do that, but this film it wasn't planned to be a part of anything. So if it fails, it's not like it's a heavy loss or it sets back anything that James Gunn had in motion. It's not like Clayface is a major villain that he has worked into multiple different films and crossovers that if this film fails, that kind of fucks that up. So it's really a weirdly inconsequential film until it's not. So that's an interesting situation for DC to be in with this film. But the trailer itself, I like it. It's definitely given me David Cronenberg esque vibes. This feels like kind of like how Sam Raimi, if I can say it correctly, how he got to direct Doctor Strange 2. I could easily have seen David Cronenberg directing a film like this that was its own contained, not connected to some Justice League crossover film. I can see Cronenberg being up for doing a body horror, super villain, superhero type movie like this. So I like that, and it also it stands out. This film is, I would say, different than most products coming out that are superhero genre. Whether it's Supergirl, Doomsday, Spider Man. This film has its own thing going, which in this day and age is very hard. It's very hard in the superhero genre to have something that makes you even remotely different from anything else. I mean, even The Boys, that started out as a critique and parodying DC and MCU. Even that's become a parody of itself now. So it's kind of hard to like really keep any type of originality or real distinct uniqueness in the superhero genre. And I think this has done this so far. Like I haven't seen any other type of superhero movie coming out that's along the lines of Clayface. Like I mean, we got Supergirl, Doomsday, and all of them don't really seem to be anything like this film. And another thing I like about this film too is it does seem to be taking itself pretty seriously. Like it's a dark. It looks like a very dark, very personable film of this because it's about a Hollywood actor who's on the rise, and then either a chain of events or something happens that leads him into becoming Clayface, and we see little glimpses of him becoming Clayface or like, him with the Clayface aspects to him with his face or wiping his mouth. And then we see him in the hospital bed. with the bandages on. For some reason, I don't know why, but seeing Clayface and those bandages, it reminded me of that foreign horror film called Goodnight Mommy. I don't know why, because the mom is like wrapped up in bandages, and all you can really see is her eyes. And it for some reason, I mean, it looks just like how Clayface does in this fucking trailer. And every time it kept cutting back or just zooming in on that, I just kept thinking that even more. I don't know. It's just a random side I kept thinking of every time they kept showing Clayface. But I wonder, since we did see in the trailer, there is a it's set in Gotham, and we saw a Gotham police car. I wonder if we're going to see any other Arkham or just Arkham Asylum inmates. The one character I hope we don't see, and I hope is just nowhere in this film, is the Joker. The joke, really, DC, please take a very long break from the Joker in anything. I feel like we are well and above our fill of Joker. We've had several movies, out not even several, fuck tons of animated movies and live action movies. He's been in cameos. He was in the fucking Robert Pattinson Batman as a cameo. Let's just have him sit this one out. Let's have Joker take the night off for this one. I think we can do without it. I know it's an easy layup because it's Arkham Asylum, Clayface, but I really do hope that there is. I don't even want to see a fucking version of Joker. I don't care if it's the fucking the new 55 or whatever. I don't want to see any type of Joker in this film. Please keep that character. That is the only character I am just like, please do not have in this film. You can have any. You can have Poison Ivy for fuck's sake. Poison Ivy. Fuck, I'll take Harley Quinn. I mean, I'm kind of tired of Harley Quinn in the live action films, but she's had at least a whole lot less appearances than Joker has. So I'll take her over him at this point. Although this is kind of a out there one, but I would like to see a Mister Freeze cameo in this. And really, I thought this kind of a little side tangent here, but I kind of thought this back when the first Joker came out. I think if DC back when the first Joker had come out had kept making individual self-contained movies like Joker and then like Clayface, I think that they would be in a good place right now. I think that they might still be on the same that they would not be on their fifth take on a fucking franchise. Because I mean, say what you want to about the MCU, but at least it's had the same leadership, the same universe, the same characters. It's not had 4 to 5 fucking resets and recasts and this character playing that. Now, well, okay, it has had that issue of actors playing different characters, but it by and large as convoluted and fucking impossible to keep up with as the Lord MCU is now. It has been the same from the beginning until now. Kevin Feige has been the head from the beginning to now. It's had the same people, same everything. And I think that DC could have maybe had that if they just focused on really you could have made like like a Arkham Asylum anthology of like Joker, you could have Clayface, Mister Freeze. You could have Penguin. You could have Poison Ivy. You could have Bane. You could have a whole trilogy, not trilogy. You could have a whole anthology series of just different villains with their films, and you could do different takes and spins on them, where they're not the villain inherently, kind of like how Joker was in his film, where you do a different take on these, villains. Because I like the first Joker, and I like what I'm seeing from this, and it would have been very completely 180 from anything else that Marvel or anyone else was doing. Because DC just tried to rush to be Marvel 2.0 and failed beyond a bit, failed awfully, abysmally a failure. And if they had separated themselves to where Marvel is the big grandiose spectacle and DC's more of the dark, grounded, realistic route. That would have been a cool contrast. I would have loved to have had the variety and the diversity of being able to choose from like a Joker, a Clayface movie, or a Poison Ivy movie, and then you could have like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. You could have a nice balance. Like I think that would complement each other because also that way. I mean, yeah, they have similar audiences, but I think the audiences would be kind of different. That you're not having, especially when you release films kind of close to each other. You won't have to worry about as much competing for the same audience because Okay, maybe not, but I'm willing to bet like if some the people who are gonna go see Clayface, I'm pretty sure some of the same people who are not gonna go see like a Spider-Man movie. I mean, yeah, some will, but like I think that depending on the movie, they are like very like the audiences are very different for each one, and so that would have been a really good way for DC to stand out. And this film, I will say, also stands out among the other superhero projects that are coming out, like Supergirl, Doomsday, Spider Man. And in this day and age, when it comes to superheroes, it is nearly impossible to come up with something to make yourself unique and distinct that's not just been done 100 times over again. I mean, we got The Boys season 5 coming out, and that show originally started out mocking and making fun of the DCU, the MCU, the corporatism of superheroes, the fucking over fucking polluted cinematic universes. The Boys have become a parody of itself now. Any almost any originality that The Boys had has just been fucking lost now. It's either just a satire of our world or it's just become a fucking parody of itself of what it was mocking to begin with. So it's pretty hard to really have and keep some distinction of originality. But this film, I think it has it. And I'm looking forward to it, which is something that when it comes to DC films, by and large, I've not really had. Like, I mean, even the Batman film, Robert Pattinson's film, that's one of the more like beloved films. I saw the trailer, I thought it looked cool, but I waited till it came out on Prime. I was like, well, I'll watch it now. Most of the DC films I can think of, Wonder Woman 1984, original Wonder Woman, Aquaman, what was it, Flash? Pretty much all the DC films I've seen, except for except for Joker. Joker I saw in theaters, and then everything else I've just seen and thought, I'll get around to it. But this film, I actually looking forward to it. I wasn't sure what I would think of it when I was just hearing about it, but seeing the trailer for it, it's got me interested. So I'll be looking forward to this film coming out for sure. But I think that's going to be it for me on this film. Let me know what you think about it down below. But until then, I will see you good people later.